The operating budget is roughly $1 billion, maybe a little bit more than $1 billion this year. It's actually 2% less than last year's operating budget, but it's not because I'm this great guy. It's because we don't have as much money, and we had about $43 million in surplus from the previous year's budget, from 2014, that was spent in 2015. I have zero surplus, so I have no money to spend that way. So that's why we had about $20 million in new revenue coming in, but that's dwarfed by the fact that we didn't have as much any surplus. So that's why the budget's gone down some. There are actually some county departments that are going to have less money in their budget this year than they had last year. Actual less money, not just a reduction in increase, but less money. But we still, I think, we were able to meet the needs of the county. We were able to put in $3 million above the maintenance of effort for the school system. The school system had banked on getting a roughly maintenance of effort from us with another $5.7 million from the state, with the geographic cost of index requirement. We have been advised that even though the legislature has given the governor authority to spend all that money, we've been advised by the State Department of Education and the school board here in Howard County that we should assume that they're going to get 50% of that. And that's kind of information we got like the last week before my budget was due, right at the end of the session. And so we worked and we found another $2.8 million to fill that gap. And so the school system will be getting what they have requested, just in a different way. We're paying for some of what the state would have hopefully have done. So I'm pleased about that, because clearly education is a top priority for all elected officials. I mean, whether you're Republican or Democrat, I mean, our county is known for our education system. People move here for that. Businesses want to come here for that. And so that's clearly going to continue to be that way in the future. We certainly put money in there for public safety. We're going to have another police academy class this year due to attrition and needing some more community policing. So we put money in. I think they got like a $2.4 million increase. The fire department also got an increase. That comes out of the fire fund. Let me see if my cheat sheet here, make sure I don't forget other stuff. Oh, with the community college and the libraries. We have level funded them for this year, but they received historically high numbers back in 2015, so they can get the same they got in 2015, which, again, when you don't have much revenue, that's what you can do. And I'm glad that they'll be able to get that. One of the best things about this budget is the effort we've made, along with the Horizon Foundation and the Howard County General Hospital. There was a behavioral health task force that was formed after the Columbia Mall shooting. To deal with the issue of mental health and how we can help people who are in those situations. That task force met for quite some time. They came with their recommendations not too long ago, and I met with the co-chairs, Nikki Highsmith from the Horizon Foundation and Donna Wells from Mental Health Authority, and they gave me their recommendations. They have it in a report, and they told me their recommendations were in priority order. So I sat down with them, and their first priority was basically to have crisis, folks to help people in crisis. And so we worked with Horizon and with the hospital to be able to partner to put the money together to be able to meet that first recommendation. There are probably three parts of that recommendation. So the behavioral health specialist is going to be the health department and some crisis intervention folks and dealing with way stations. But we put $125,000 in, and then they put another $125,000, so about $250,000 between the two of them. So I think it's a good example of working together in the community to try to meet a goal, and our effort will be to try to get more next year to meet further recommendations, but at least we started with that, which I think is a big deal in Howard County. We're going to continue to fund the mobile crisis unit, the team, and the mental health position with the police department. That was started in the previous administration. We're going to make sure we keep on doing that. Let me see here. The Inner Arbor. If you're familiar with what's happening downtown in Columbia, I've been working with the state delegation on this issue. We have really two parts down there. We have Meriwether Post Pavilion as well as the Inner Arbor, which is Symphony Woods. Guy Gazzone, State Senator Gazzone, has led the effort. He was successful in getting $2 million from the state capital budget to go to Meriwether to help them with their renovation. As you may know, there was money that was basically a deal brought up by the previous administration. I actually had to end up signing the deal, but that we have put like $9 million of county money and had $9 million from Howard Hughes to help with $18 million together to help with the renovations in Meriwether. Here's another $2 million coming from the state in the capital budget. We're hopeful we'll get more money in the future from the state to help with Meriwether. I had told folks that I would try from the county side to help Inner Arbor. The first project they want to have built is something called the Chrysalis. It's an outdoor theater. And so we put in $1.4 million roughly to help them finish that project. So they're going to have the first project will be finished by spring of next year. It's called the Chrysalis. It's an outdoor theater right next door to Merriweather, right across the parking lot. So, so that's going to be started. So again, the redevelopment of Symphony Woods is on pace to be done, which I think is part of the whole redevelopment process with downtown. You can see here. We also, community service partnerships is a big part of our budget. These are the budget items that go to help with the nonprofits, grassroots, the Hope Works, violence and sexual assault. And so we basically have been able to level fund most of them. We got a recommendation from some folks that we should put a 10% cut, trying to make sure we have enough money. But we're able to find money to level fund most of them. We actually gave $35,000 above level funding for Hope Works. I've met with Jen Pullett-Hill and some members of her board, and we talked about the need. I mean, they are our domestic violence sexual assault center for Howard County. And so we need to help them to be able to continue to provide those urgent services. So they actually were happy we can fund them a little bit more this year. Let me see. I think that's most of it. I just wanted to know that it's a tough year, and it was hard choices. I mean, it's hard to sit across the table from somebody who sits down with you and explains what their nonprofit is doing and tells you how much they're making a difference in the community, and then you're like, we don't have it. And it's not an easy thing to do. We tried the best we could to give people as much as we could possibly give them. I think that the county, we're very fortunate we have great county employees. We've got 2,800 fantastic county employees. One of the greatest things I have the privilege of doing is working with them. And they do an awful lot with less.